E-invoice and e-way bill seamless integration with SAP to ensure optimum governance. My name is Briti and I'll be moderating the webinar today. The mandatory requirement of e-invoicing for businesses with a turnover between 100 crores and 499 crores from B2B transactions will come into effect from January 1st, 2021, and with it, a rising number of concerns and queries. With only approximately 20 more days into its implementation, the changes will bring a large number of medium enterprises under the ambit of e-invoicing, and the companies would need to soon gear up their IT processes or IT systems to enable compliance with this new invoicing regulations. It's definitely a confounding time for businesses across the country. So, how do you make sure you don't come off as exploitative and deal with the shift to online across the entire business while balancing the concerns of all your stakeholders? Let's get all your queries and concerns straight in this webinar. The agenda of the webinar will be as follows. We'll be starting the webinar with an introduction, followed by a brief on Applexus technologies and the live product demo that ends with a Q&A section. So without much delay, I'd like to introduce our speakers for today. First, we have with us Mr. Raj Narayan, who heads India sales for Applexus Technologies. Raj has more than 19 years of experience in sales and solution selling and has been instrumental in growing partnership business for large software OEMs across India. Mr. Srinath Shashidharan is a subject matter expert for e-invoicing and e-way billing, and he leads the pre-sales and sales support division of Applexus Technologies. With more than 13 years of experience in SAP consulting, solutioning, implementation, and delivery management, he is adept in customizing offerings and tailoring them specific to customer needs. Next, we have with us Mr. Subhash Siddharthan, who heads the SAP services and localization for Applexus Technologies. Mr. Subhash has an experience of over 24 years spanning over consulting, pre-sales and delivery in the areas of logistics and international trade. And finally, we have Mr. Sharat Shankar, pre-sales consultant for India localization and compliance. Mr. Sharat has an experience of over 10 years in indirect taxation with specific focus on GST compliance frameworks and implementation methodologies. So before we begin the webinar, all participants will be put on mute during the presentation. So in case you would like to reach us with your queries, please update them on the Q&A window towards the right and bottom of the screen. We'll take them up towards the end of our webinar. With that, let me hand over to Mr. Raj to give us a brief about Applexus Technologies and how Applexus is making an impact in the global business scenario.
Thank you, Smriti. Very good afternoon to all of you. My name is Raj Narayan. I head the sales for Applexus. As Smriti had mentioned, I shall take you through a brief introduction of Applexus and then followed by the e-invoicing demo. If you have any queries, please do put it up in your Q&A section and we shall address all of your queries by end of this webinar. About Applexus, we are actually a global technology leader developing and implementing digital solutions in and around SAP ERP. Globally, we are the SAP Gold partner as well as the co-innovation partner. And together with SAP, we have co-innovated products and solutions for automating international trade, for managing retail store operations, and also have built various solutions to automate business processes with artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities. Applexus was founded in the year 2005 and headquartered in Seattle, USA. We have offices in UK, Canada, UAE, and India. We are highly focused in certain verticals like manufacturing, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, retail, fashion, and we have set up our center of excellence across these domains. Our USP is deep domain expertise. We possess and highly skilled SAP certified consultants that we have. We have close to 300 plus SAP consultants with huge experience in SAP and have delivery centers across across India and USA. We have close to 70 satisfied customers across India and Middle East. Some of our customers I'll show you in the next slide. I hope you can see my slides now. So these are the customer logos that we have. These are some of our customer logos. You can see the large enterprises, the number one, number two customers of each industry, which we have mentioned here. Like in the pharma industry, you can see the names like Sun Pharma, Alchem Labs. As we speak, Lupin Pharmaceuticals is getting implemented now. Implementation is going on. In the FMCG sector, you can see Adani, and probably you can see even the Marico is also getting implemented. In auto industry, you can see the name like Mahindra, Gabriel, Amar Raja, probably the Exide Industries. In steel industry, you can see the names like JSW, Tata Tinplate. So there are many, like even in the MRF is in the tire industry, MRF and Apollo is our customer. So if you take an specific industry, the top customers, the top manufacturing or the top enterprises of that industry is our customer, referenceable customer for you. Just giving you a snapshot, we have many of these kind of logos that we have. Moving on. These are some of our product offerings that we do in the market. We have our four major products, namely Simple Retail, Insight, Nexim, and Iris. To give you a small snapshot of each of this, Simple Retail helps retail businesses to integrate online as well as physical store with AI as well as retail management solutions. I mean, Simple Retail can actually handle all the core process of a store from a digital customer engagement through which can be like a purchase of online purchases through web app or mobile app, and even a mobile point of sale operations, inventory management, promotions, loyalty, you name it. We have the almost all the features and functionalities to manage your digital store. The next one is the product called Insight. Insight is a solution that complements SAP's accounts payable functionality. Basically, Insight automates to end invoice processing processes from the moment an invoice lands in your accounts payable desk. From that point onwards, we are automating each and every step, including verification, exception handling, and approvals, posting into SAP, escalations, alerting the vendor, and finally the payment, making the payment release to the vendor. So all these processes, starting from the moment that invoice is reaching till the payment is released, all this is handled, accounts payable process is handled by Insight. The next product is Nexim. Nexim is our flagship product for India. This is the product which we have co-innovated with SAP. This product helps enterprises to manage and track export-import license schemes, export incentives, or even now we help large enterprises to automate the entire export documentation, pre-shipment documents and post-shipment documents. Even the trade finances like tracking your LC, tracking your bank guarantees, bonds, and things. So the entire export-import process is handled by this Nexim product. Next is our product called Iris. Iris is actually an artificial intelligence platform. Actually, this enables the organizations to realize the vision of the intelligent enterprise, like how you go to intelligent enterprise, than having a personal human being centric or personal centric. It will integrate the artificial intelligence into SAP processes and make business processes intelligent. So it helps you to speed up the processes. It helps you to learn by itself and move to the next level. These are the four product offerings that we have. Moving on to our service offerings. Again, for some of our service offerings, we are not going to discuss about all of them here. Like you can see the business transformation, which is a service that we provide. here what we do is for now, if like now the buzzword is all about digital transformation, right? Now to get that into the digital transformation, what is that you want to do? For that, first is to have that your business process to be assessed, mapped, and simplified. And we help you identify which are your core businesses areas, which need to be fine-tuned, probably aligned, and prepare for your end users to embrace the digital transformation. So that is what we help you in the business transformation service. The next is S/4HANA implementation. As I told you, we had been in Assistant from 2005. So we have 15 years of experience in successful SAP implementations. And we have in-depth SAP knowledge, which makes us the preferred partner for the businesses. We have the unique tools and the running start methodology, which helps the enterprises or which helps us to seamlessly deploy S/4HANA into enterprises and get the better ROI for them. We also the next service that we provide is the business analytics. It's actually another key service area that we have. We enable effective use of analytics to transform business processes. And we also bridge the gap between insight and action. So it is like we provide the data insights within from the data which you already have in your ERP. We are the experts in designing and architecting modern data warehouses. It could be now on your SAP HANA platform, or it could be your SAP BW HANA for HANA platform, or even your SAP Data Warehouse Cloud. So we have expertise in all this, and we can provide you the architects, we can provide you modern designs for this. The fourth and the final service that we would want to talk about is the industry IP solutions. If you remember, I had told you about our deep domain expertise that we have. So this is where we come in. Our aim is to optimize and automate operational processes specific to each function in the specific industry. But at the same time, we also see that we enable our customers deliver exceptional advantage to their end clients, their vendors, their employees. And this is how they improve their business efficiency, right? So we help them to do that. And we ensure that comes through this industry solutions, because each industry solution which we create is helping our customers to automate their processes, to speed up their processes. With that, I come to my part of introduction of Applexus. I also once again request all of you, if you have any queries, please go to your Q&A page and put it in there, and we will answer all your queries. Once again, thank you for coming into this webinar.
Good morning all. This is Srinath. I'll just take you through the e-bill and e-invoicing overview, solution and recent updates from government. Then we will do a live system demo how our product works. So let me start with the concept of e-invoicing adoption across the globe. As all of you know, e-invoicing is not an India concept, it's a global concept, and many countries are already implemented e-invoicing solution on their business scenarios. So there are two type of e-invoicing scenario are there. One is a real-time clearance model and another one is a post-transaction model. So India is adopted post-transaction model. That means we will create the invoice and authenticate it with the government systems. So what is e-invoicing and e-bill? E-invoicing is basically a digitally processed invoicing process, which is with complaints or without complaints. Now India is going with complaints, and system will generate the invoice and authenticate with the government system, and it can be passed to the vendor by the government or from the buyer also. So it's basically a digital process for entire invoicing process from starting from buyer to the vendor and authenticating with government. So e-waybill is a unique requirement or document which is introduced as a GST regime. The goods having more than 50,000 of value needs to generate the e-waybill for transmitting the goods from one place to another place. So this is the concept of e-invoicing and e-waybill in India. And there are certain recent updates. As all of you know, the companies having more than 500 crores turnover for last financial year is already live with e-invoicing from 1st of October 2020. And there are all the companies are successfully generating e-invoicing and IRN number from the government system. So next target is from 1st January onwards, 100 crore to 500 crores companies are needs to be mandatory going live with the e-invoicing system and needs to authenticate and generate e-invoicing and QR code from the NIC system from the 1st of January 2021. So the recent updates, what are the transaction needs to be attracting e-invoicing and not attracting e-invoicing. So B2B transactions, all the B2B transactions needs to be generating invoicing, including export invoice, deemed export invoice, reverse charge mechanism invoices, supplies to SEZs, credit note by the buyer, and the vendor return to the buyer also. So these scenarios, e-invoicing needs to be generated. And the other side, there are certain cases e-invoicing is not required. All the B2C transactions are not required to generate any invoicing. And the bill of supply or delivery challan transaction also need not to be generate invoicing, but that needs to be generate e-waybill. So if we are taking some goods for exhibition, demo, or experimental purposes or testing purposes, that also need not to generate e-invoicing. And e-invoicing is exempted from IC sales, inbound sales, and sale of land and building. So these are the scenarios which e-invoicing is not attracting. So there is an update from government. The B2C transaction needs to be generated QR code, but it is nothing to do with e-invoicing. It's a payment option. So if there is a B2C transaction is happening, the QR code can be entered in the invoice for paying the that particular transaction. Like what we are doing it in the Google Pay or BIM app, which shops are displaying as a QR code. So that is nothing to do with the e-invoicing process. So how is our solution looks like? Our solution is available in both the front ends. We have a Fiori apps for that, and we do have a GUI transactions for that. So these are the high level deliverables for invoicing. We can generate the invoice. We can cancel. We can do the invoicing calculations and reversals. The invoice can be generated for credit notes, and we can print the QR code in the invoices. Then we have the reports, and we have the logs also for processing invoices, which one is failed and which one is success, and those kind of status also we can check it. So we do have a reconciliation with the invoicing with the GSTR2 return. We do have the vendor customer ledger reconciliation also. Also, as Raj explained earlier, we do have a other product called Insight for processing the invoices, the AP invoices. So it can be integrated with that also. So e-waybill deliverables are, we can generate the e-waybill, we can do the calculations and reversals, and we do have the option for printing e-waybill. Then we have a status report. Then we do have options like generate the part A later, and we can have the options like enter multiple vehicles or multiple routes in the e-waybills. Because there are scenarios that in a single transaction there can multiple vehicles are involved for a transaction, so that we can update those vehicle details also in the e-waybill. So all these scenarios are available in our product. So I'll just quickly run through the cycles which majorly affected e-invoicing. So let's say that SD cycle, we do have a sale order, delivery, and shipment. After that, we will posting the invoice. So we can have two options. We can, once invoice is posted, automatically we can trigger the API and we can generate the invoice and print it immediately. Or if you don't want to do that, we do have another transaction for generating e-waybill separately. So it will come back from the government system and it will print in the invoicing. So we do have the FI invoices also. As you know, credit notes, debit notes, and reversals, those kind of scenarios directly posting the FI invoices. So the FI invoices also will be triggered the invoicing, and it will be taken the IRN number and QR code will be printed in the invoices. So how's the e-waybill process works? Like we can automate e-waybill process as well, but normally e-waybill will be generated later than once the transporter all are identified, or in a part A, part B will be identified later. So we do have options to generate e-waybill automatically from the invoice, or we can generate as a separate transaction also. Based on the business requirement, we can configure that. So now I'm touch basing on how we are communicating with the NIC system. So we do have a secured connection, and we do have a partner for GSP partner, and through the partner we will be connecting to the NIC system, and we are enabling HTTPS secured connection for that. This is how we are communicating through that. If our landscape having a PI server, we will communicate through PI, or if we do not have a PI server, we will communicate through SOAP APIs through the web service. So there are two options to integrate it. One is the API based option. That's a real-time scenario. Whenever you are generating an invoice, it will trigger the API and it will go to the NIC system and will print, take the QR code and IRN number and print it in the invoice. If we don't want to do that, we can do it. Let's say that we created 10 invoices in a day. All the 10 invoices, we can generate the invoicing in a one go through a SFTP option. That's basically a file transfer. This file go there and will process, and the file will get back with the required information, and it will be stored in a location. From there, we can process it and we can print it in the invoices. These are the two options for integrating with the NIC system. So I'll just touch base on our experience. When we are implemented e-invoice, went live on 1st of October. These are the some of the companies, big names which we are done it. Clarion Chemical, Lafarge Holcim, and Arcoma. All these three are live with our e-invoicing system, and Clarion is generating more than 100 plus invoices, and Arcoma is also generating more than 100 plus invoices per day through the product. So I'll just touch base on a Clarion case study. So there was a business criticality from 1st of October. They need to be generated e-invoicing, and there in their scenario, e-waybill was also not there. They are manually generating e-waybill from the NIC portal. Now we are implemented e-waybill and e-invoicing together there. So they are started generating e-waybill and e-invoicing from 1st of October from our system. So invoice are generating there, and it is going to the government system, and it's printing back the IRN number and invoice number. So with that, we will quickly move to the demo. So I'll just hand over to Sharath to take the next one. Thank you all. I'll take all the questions from you after the demo. Thank you all. Hi, Sharath.
Thank you, Srinath. Hope you can hear me, Srinath.
Yes, I can hear you.
Thanks everyone for joining the meeting, first of all. So I'll share my screen and we will go through the system demo. So I'm logging into my SAP environment, giving my credentials. So before we move into the actual demo, I'll just give you an idea about how the system works. So you can generate an e-invoice and e-waybill against billing documents essentially generated through standard VF01 transactions, or it could be from the financial transactions as well. So in finance, you don't have to go through the normal route of sales order, delivery, and billing. You can directly generate a billing document from finance. So it could be either of these billing documents against which you are generating an invoice and an e-waybill. So what we'll do here is we'll quickly create a sales order, delivery, and a billing document. And with reference to that billing document, we will create the e-invoice. Right. So I'm going to the VA01 transaction. So I've created the sales order number 452. Now we'll create a delivery with reference to the same. So I'm giving my pick quantity same as the delivery quantity and doing a PGI. So the delivery also has been created. Now we'll create a billing document. All right. So now we have created this billing document number 900000376 using the VF01 transaction. Now we'll go to the e-invoice area menu and create an e-invoice with reference to this particular billing document number. Now for accessing the e-invoice area menu, the transaction is /APLX/EINV. APLX standing for Applexus. This is our namespace, and EINV for e-invoice. Right. So this is the area menu for e-invoice and e-way bill. So here we have multiple transactions pertaining to creation of e-invoice, printing of the invoice, report generation of the invoice. Now, when we are creating the invoice, automatically we are creating the invoice as well as the e-way bill for user convenience. Now, if that is not the case, if there are certain transactions which attract only e-way bill creation, you can directly create the e-way bill from under the e-way bill creation or the e-way bill area menu. And then there are also a couple of configuration transactions available here. So we'll move on to the creation of e-invoice. You can either directly execute the C code for creation for coming to the create e-invoice transaction, or you can come to this area menu and then access this T code from over here. So this is the initial page where I can search for documents with reference to which I can create an e-invoice. I can search for a very broad range, like just entering my company code or business place, or I can directly give my billing document number or give the date on which I have generated the billing document number. In our case, we have generated on the 11th of December. So I can just give 11th of December over here, and all the invoices which attract e-invoicing will be listed in the next screen. Or I can generate it with reference to an accounting document number. This is the case which I explained in the very beginning. For documents where we have created an invoice directly from finance, we can select such documents from this area, right? And then we can also select the transaction category from over here. So I'm just giving my billing date. So here I can see the billing document number which I just created. And then this transaction also defaults all the information from the reference document, details of the customer addresses, our own company addresses, GST details, etc. are defaulted to the screen. So you don't have to essentially enter anything manually over here. So creation of e-invoice is a relatively easy process. You just come to the screen and click on the button for creating e-invoice. The system will default every information from the reference document. And if you were to just validate the item details before creation of the invoice, we also have a display item button over here, which will show you details of the various line items in this particular reference document. So for creation of e-invoice, we just click on this button. And on clicking this, what happens is we are connecting the SAP system to the NIC system through an API. And once there is a successful connection established, the system will receive back details of the IRN number and QR code from the NIC system. So right now we are connected to the sandbox system, and you can see the message that e-invoice is created. Now, if there were some kind of hiccups in the process, that error message would have been displayed here. So, however, in this case, we have established a proper connectivity and we have got the e-invoice details, right? So e-invoice and e-way bill is also filed. So it is not just e-invoice. When I click on this button, e-invoice is created. Also an e-way bill is also filed in the background. Now we'll go to the next transaction. So this transaction is for printing of e-invoice as well as for cancellation of e-invoice. So again, in the selection screen, I can, probably enter directly my billing document number, or I can just give a very broad range, like just my company code or customer code, and the system will default all the relevant documents. Okay. So this is the billing document number against which we just generated the e-invoice, and this is the IRN number which we got back from the NIC system. So for printing e-invoice, I just have to click on this button. This is a very standard template that we have configured with the experience that we have had with previous implementations for companies where turnover is above 500 crores. And so this is the IRN number and this is the QR code that we have got back from the NIC system. Now, if you were to make any kind of changes to this format, it can be very well done. Or if this information has to be mapped to any other templates for that matter, that is getting generated from your standard system, that can also be done. The cancellation provision is also inside this transaction itself. So the government allows you to do a cancellation of the invoice once it has been generated if there were some mistakes in the invoice that you generated in SAP in the first place. So when you created VF01, if there were some mistakes and you already generated an invoice, what you can probably do is you can cancel the invoice from here. You can go back to SAP, make necessary changes, and then come back to the create transaction and create an invoice again with reference to that particular billing document number. Okay. And you can also print the e-way bill from here. It is for convenience that we have mapped the print of e-invoice and e-way bill inside the same transaction. Then there is also an associated status report. So I'm just executing the report with reference to a company code so that I can see details of all e-invoices created with reference to documents pertaining to this particular company code. Again, this is a very standard template that we have developed. Now, if you were to make any kind of changes or if you wish to add or remove some kind of fields from within the report or from the selection parameter screen, it can be very well done. Right? So we are basically mapping details of the invoice, the status of the invoice, what is the cancellation status, and what is the IRN number. And these are a couple of configuration transactions for generation of the invoice, basically for connecting to the NIC system. So we have kind of a UOM mapping where we're trying to map the SAP UOM to the NIC system UOM nomenclature. So for instance, in SAP, if you have kilograms defined as kg, whereas in NIC it could be kgs. So we are mapping kg to kgs. So in a similar fashion, we can map all the relevant UOMs. Similarly for token generation, region code mapping, etc. So these are all essentially one-time activities which will have to be done in the very beginning, after which you can start generation of e-invoices and e-way bills. And then this area is specific to e-way bills. As I told you, if you were to, for instance, update part B of the e-way bill transportation details, you can come here and update the transportation details. E-way bill will be generated from the create e-invoice transaction itself. Furthermore, if you were to update the details, you can come here. Cancellation of the e-way bill, we have a transaction for that. Similarly, there is a status report for e-way bill, etc. Also, consolidated e-way bill. If you were to generate multiple e-way bill against multiple transactions in one go, that is also, that kind of a provision is also facilitated over here. So that's about it from my side, from a system demo perspective. Now we are ready to move on to the Q&A session. So I'll just stop sharing my screen and Srinath will take it from here. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sharad. Can you hear me, Sharad?
Yes, Srinath.
Just a second, I'll just take the questions. All right, yeah. There's a question from Pradeep. Pradeep, we do have expertise in SAC planning. I hope our analytics team is not joined in this webinar. I hope you have shared your number. We will reach out to you for discussing on the SAC part. So the second question from is that is tenor of 100 crores only. So so what's happened from October 1st, government has decided to go with 500 crores core plus companies. And from Jan onwards, it says that 100 crores company. So 100 to 500 crores companies are going to live on 1st of January. So is it a phase-wise implementation because of system availability and connectivity and making sure that everyone is seamlessly generating invoices as it's a real-time scenario. So from now, Jan first window is for 100 to 500 crores companies. So regarding the automatic mirror option, we can discuss that along with the SAC planning session. If you are not shared the number, please send us your number. We will reach out to you and we will discuss in detail on that. Basically, automatic mirror is nothing but our inside product, one of the functionality in our inside product, which you can process invoices, scan and process the invoices with all the workflows and other things through the inside product. So we will discuss that in detail, Pratik. So other question, e-waybill is dependent on shipment or invoice. So if there is a latest update from government, is there is a IRN generated, then e-waybill needs to be generated based on the IRN. If a transaction is not applicable for e-invoicing and it's applicable only for e-waybill, then e-waybill can be based on the shipment. So it depends based on what kind of transaction which we are doing it. But e-waybill is mandatory for the goods having more than 50,000 rupees of value, and it may not be valid for the invoicing for all transactions. Implementation time required. So on a normal typical implementation scenario for e-invoicing and e-waybill, we can complete it in 2 weeks time, including UAT, go live support and everything. So I do have this much questions. I think I answered already. Yeah, Pradeep, we saw your number. We will reach out to you separately. Anyone have any other questions? I think, Smriti, we can conclude it. I couldn't see any more questions. We can wind it up.
Sure. So now a lot of what companies do in the coming months may feel like temporary strategies. But what if this represents as an opportunity for businesses to define who you truly are and who you will continue to be for the next decade or beyond? It's a chance for you to make meaningful adjustments, moving purpose from words to actions, innovate to transform. Let me thank our wonderful speakers for prepping us all up for the big transformational journey ahead with their expertise and insights. Thank you, Raj, Srinath, Subhash, and Sharath. And thank you, each and everyone, for joining us today. We'll get back to you within a few days regarding your further queries and concerns. Thank you.